Alright, and this message is gonna be to my mother. It's gonna be to my mama. And hopefully she listens as I'm led to record this for her. And I will start by asking her, do you believe that it is wise to continue to blindly hold on to all of the things that you've been taught to believe without question? And then my follow-up question would be, didn't the Messiah tell us that we must become like a little child in order to inherit the kingdom of the Most High? And because he told us this, doesn't it make sense that we would need to unlearn all of the things that we have been taught to believe since we were children? Because our religious beliefs came from those before us who handed those things down to us. Therefore, it's important that we question everything that we've been handed down and the things that we've been taught. So I want to start with that. Now, with that being said, the scripture declares by the Messiah that Jerusalem will be trodden down until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So what does that mean? And is Jerusalem really where the powers that be that's been ruling during the time of the Gentiles? Should we really trust that they've told us the truth about that? Should we trust that they've told us the truth about anything? Because the scripture declared that our enemies shall be known as liars unto us. And they have done just that. They have lied about everything. And they told us that we were Gentiles. And this is why we accepted Paul. And this is why many of my people, like my mother, runs to the Pauline epistles. Because these preconceived ideologies of men were taught by our enemies. And for most people, they've never been questioned. They're just known within them. It's a core belief. As for me, I was always curious as a child, and I was always very strong-willed, and my mom knows this about me. And I always had a lot of questions, and I was always different. My mom knows all of this. And so I would like for her to understand the times that we grew up in. It was during the times of the worst of the heathen. It was during the time of the Gentiles. And now their rule is coming to an end. And the truth of the Most High is in the earth. And now the question is, who are you going to continue to believe? Your enemies, which has given you a bunch of lies and deceit? Or are you going to listen to the Spirit of truth? That small, still voice on the inside of you. When you once questioned the eating of animals. And I know that my mom says she never wanted me to bring this up again, But I'm sorry, but this has to be brought up again. It has to be dealt with, because we really need to ask ourselves, why did the Most High change? Why did the Father change his mind? Did he really? Did he really change his mind after he created our substance, our food, which grows from the earth without bloodshed? Did he really change that from being our food that he called meat to the dead flesh and blood of slaughtered animals? Is he really for slaughterhouses? Did he really command blood sacrifices? Does that sound like a loving Father? Or could that be a deception? Because Satan said he would set himself up like the Most High. And the blinders needs to come off of my family that are innocently following the things they have been taught to believe in. And I believe that my mom is innocent. I don't believe that my mom has a rebellious spirit. I just think that she hasn't heard the truth. She hasn't been taught by the Spirit of truth. She's been taught a bunch of preconceived ideologies of men. So anyway, I would love to have a conversation with my mom. But I know from experience that she wouldn't let me get all of my thoughts out. So therefore, I'm having to record this, and I will try to send it to her. Now, I'm praying that it does not destroy our relationship, but that it strengthens it. Because I love my mom. So anyway, hopefully my dad comes like he said he was going to be coming next month. I'm hoping he sticks to it and does. I hadn't seen my dad since about 2012 or so. Last time I've been to Chicago, I went there when my mom's mother died. My grandmother on my mom's side died. She passed. And I went to that funeral. And I think my dad's mother passed in like 2018 or 2019. And my mom's mother passed in like 2012. I think it was 2019 when my dad's mother passed, because I seen it on Facebook. There was and my half sister posted it, but I didn't get to go to that funeral. I need to ask my mom how old I was when I seen that bloody lamb. It was on the corner of my neighborhood. As I was me and my mom were walking, and I don't remember how old I was, but I remember it vividly, that like everything disappeared, like the traffic, other people, cars, moving cars, and all of that. Like the scenery became desolate, and all I seen, I mean, the buildings were there as far as I can remember, and like cars, but there was nothing moving. There was nothing moving except for a lamb at the head of the street. Okay? On the corner. There was this bloody lamb. And I believe it looked at me. But I don't remember all the details. The details that I remember was that it went from there being traffic and people to nothing, and it being desolate and everything still but this lamb. And if I remember correctly, I must have stopped because I seen this lamb and I was fixated upon it. And I remember my mom asking me if I was okay, because apparently I had stopped walking and I was standing still, fixated upon something. My mom couldn't see it. She couldn't see what I was fixated upon, or like what had my attention. But I remember coming to and asking my mom, "Did you not see that lamb? Did you not see that bloody lamb at the head of the corner? At the head of the street on the corner?" And she said no. And she was looking at me with concern. But I don't remember how old I was. And I really want to talk to my mom so that I can find out how old was I when I was seeing into the spirit world. Like when I had these visions. Like I don't remember how old I was. And I don't remember how old I was when I prayed over my mom's leg. My mom is the one that told me. I didn't remember who it was that had laid hands on my mom and made her leg. Like we literally all seen it. We all seen her leg grow because one of her legs was shorter than the other. And I'm the one that had laid hands on her and prayed as a child. I don't remember how old I was. And we all seen her leg grow. Okay, my mom can testify to this. Okay, but I want to ask her, how old was I when that happened? And how old was I when I seen that lamb? Because I don't remember how old I was, but I remember these things happened. I didn't remember that it was me that was the one that laid hands on my mom, but I remember witnessing my mom's leg grow to match her other leg. And she's the one that told me recently, within the past year, that I'm the one that laid hands on. So it's just so crazy to me that my family won't listen to me in these last days. And my family won't pay any kind of attention to the fruit that's been produced in my life, to lend their ear to the things that are being spoken by me via the leading of the Spirit of truth. And it's heartbreaking. But I strongly believe that it is the sorceries of Satan that have blinded the eyes of my mother. And I have been chosen to help break and destroy that deception. And so I'm just going to pray about it. And if the Father gives me the okay to talk to my mom or send her this message, you know, I'm going to sit on it for a little bit though and seek the Father about it, because I'm not doing it in and of myself. I'm not trying to receive praise from my mom, and I'm not trying to make her feel like I know more than her, or because it's not about that. It is about the Spirit of truth. Okay, and the Spirit of truth, the Father, is not a respecter of persons. It's not about how long we've been on this earth. It's not about, you know, titles. It's not about any of that. It is about the willingness of the servant, the servant who is yielding their temple for the Spirit of truth to dwell in them. Okay? It has nothing to do with how many years I've been on this earth. Okay? It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with the fact that she bore me and that she's my mother, and that just because she's my mother, that, you know, she has all the truth and I don't have any. You know, we've been taught corruption throughout everything. Okay? It's not about that. We can learn from many different people regardless of how old they are or how long they've been on the earth. Okay? So, I don't know how else to put it. It's not out of pride. And the reason why I want to ask my mom these questions is literally out of wanting to free her. That's my motivation. Satan cannot have my mother. Alright? He cannot have my mother. And I don't believe that my mother has a rebellious spirit. Okay? I really strongly feel like she's been put to sleep by the sorceries and the deceptions of Satan. And also because the scripture does declare, it did declare that the father will put his children to sleep. Now, my mom always had a heart after the father. When she was young, you know, she was the one that gathered all the neighborhood children together and took them to church, okay? My mom has a purpose on this earth, whether she knows it or not. I know she knows it, but she's not walking in it. I'm not going to say that, because maybe she is being a light where she's at somewhat to an extent. My mom treats people pretty much somewhat the way she wants to be treated now. Overall, my mother is a good person, you know, and I really don't see I don't see the rebellious spirit in my mom. I see deception, that she's been deceived, but I do see that rebellious spirit in my dad, unfortunately. Ironically, my dad has helped me financially more so than my mom, though. And so, I don't know, man. Everything happens for a reason. But these things be on my mind so much. Like how, I know it's not up to me, per se, to free my family. That's up to the Most High. That's in the Most High's timing. But why do I feel it? Why do I feel it so heavy on me to talk to my family? Why is it? Because I know it's not of any pride or arrogance. You know, that was never a motivation for me in dealing with my family. It was all dealing with the fact that we've been lied to and deceived. And me loving my family enough to tell them this. It never had anything to do with me wanting to feel like I was superior to my family, or that I know so much more than them. You know? Because this wisdom ain't mine. This knowledge is not mine. It comes by way of the Spirit, because I've yielded myself to the Spirit. It's just, and much wisdom is much grief, because it's like, damn, I know all of this now, right? So now I just have to watch my family continue to be deceived and turning their ear away from me because they all look down upon me. You know, because I'm not successful in this world by the world standards. So the Most High couldn't possibly be dealing with me if I'm not successful by this world standards. You know, people are looking at the Most High like he's some kind of genie in the sky. Like if we believe in the Most High power, then we wouldn't be poor, or we wouldn't be in the situations that we're in. But they don't understand that these things are trials, and this is the fire that his servants must go through in order to prove ourselves. You know, and I didn't realize that before. This is why I questioned it. This is why I had so many questions growing up. This is why I'm like, why is my life so hard? And when I bring these things up to my mom, she always chalked it up as life ain't fair, get over it. You know, but that used to irritate the crap out of me. That statement, that saying, life ain't fair. You know, that really used to get under my skin so much so, because I would be like, why isn't it fair? Who made it not fair? Why aren't we questioning, you know, the state of the world and how we get this way? Why are we so complacent in it? These are all the questions that's always been in my mind and in my heart, in my spirit. And And every fiber of my being was 100% against conforming to this society and just being another brick in the wall. I will put it that way because it's like everything is set up since the time that we come out of the womb to be socially adapted in this society. You know, like, we're taught the things that our parents were taught, and their parents were taught, and their parents were taught. And then we go to school, which was set up, these educational institutions, not knowing that our enemies created these institutions for specific reasons, to indoctrinate us, okay, into this society, into this worldview, okay? And the longer that you go to these educational institutions, the more indoctrinated you are, okay? But yet the more credible you are seen in the eyes of the world, because you get all of these accolades and degrees. So this makes you some kind of authority on truth and information. But you ain't taking into consideration who you were taught by and where your curriculum came from. You know, you're not taking into consideration that we were living during the time of the Gentiles. And the last 200 years has been the time of the worst of the heathen, okay? The worst of the heathen. And now we, like my mom, you know, look down upon many of her own people, and the same with my brother, because they don't understand that we are the true people of the book. So a lot of the things that they see of our people, you know, they're viewing it through the eyes of a Gentile. They're not viewing it through the eyes that they are the true chosen people. They're not viewing it through the eyes that, wow, these are the curses that were said to be upon our people. These are the signs and the markers that were deliberately placed upon our people by the Most High. Why? So that when the time comes that He wakes us up, we are able to locate who the true people are based upon the signs and markers, the wonders that He placed upon us. There had to be specific conditions of His people that they would literally be living in, okay? Specific circumstances, all right? These things are specific to one nation of people. And there is only one nation that fits the circumstances that the Israelites were said to go through, okay? These signs and markers, wonders, are on this particular nation of people, okay? And it cannot be refuted, it cannot be denied. So, because they're viewing our people that are gangbangers through the eyes and the narrative of the Gentiles that have been in rule, they are blinded to the fact that they are the true chosen people, and these are the curses that has been fulfilled on our people. So, I just really pray and hope that my mom wakes up, that my family wakes up. I know that I can't ask for my whole family to be spared, because I already know what the scripture declares. My brother is another. You know, we both grew up during the time of the worst of the heathen. But my brother has assimilated himself in this society, and he has become a part of it. You know, he's played his role, his part in this wicked kingdom. He has a career. He has a wife. He has a home. He has vehicles. Okay? Now, I love my little brother. He's 4 years younger than me. I love him. Okay? But I'm going to keep it 100% real on this channel. And I'm not trying to badmouth my family. I would never badmouth my family. But I'm going to keep it real and talk about things that I noticed and that the Father pointed out to me as I was getting to know Him. Okay? Now, it's never too late. Hopefully, well, it can't get to the point to where it's too late. But my brother still has time to change his heart. Okay? My brother still has time to change his heart. See, there was a time not too long ago. This is before I had gotten my last car. When I had my Buick Riviera ended up being towed by the apartment complex. They towed my vehicle, and it was fully paid for, okay? But because they were working on the parking lot, and I was off for a few days, and I didn't know to go move my car. I had moved it, but and the fact is, like, it's crazy that the way that they were doing it. Like, they didn't give us any notice to when they were going to be changing the location of where they're going to be working on in the parking lot. So the last time they had let me know. The time before they had let me know. They knocked on my door. They let me know to come move my car. So I went to go move my car. Okay? But the next time, they didn't give me no notice. Okay? So they just ended up towing my car. And at my expense. So when and it had been towed for a couple of days before I even knew that they towed my car. And so when I contacted the tow place, you know, they wanted me to pay all these fees. And the apartment complex refused to pay them because they claimed that they put a notice on our door, which they didn't. They did about a week prior, saying that they were going to be doing work on the parking lot. Okay? But how are we supposed to know which day they're going to be doing work on which part of the parking lot? Okay? So it was just wrong how they did me, okay? It was wrong how they did me. They basically had my car stolen by the towing company. And so that car was just gone, okay? They just took my car. But I was already dealing with issues from that car. The transmission was going out. So I couldn't really drive the car much anyway, but I could drive it, you know, to the local store right here in my neighborhood and back. You know, I couldn't drive it far. I couldn't go up no hill or nothing like that, but I could drive it within this little neighborhood. It was very slow, but I could drive it a little bit. But anyway, they ended up towing that car. I didn't get nothing for, I didn't get to sell it for parts or nothing. They took my car. It was paid for. So my Buick Riviera 1996, they had it towed, and that was just on my loss. It was my loss. That's the way that they acted, and there was nothing I could do about it. Because the Gentiles literally had this power to just take my car, okay? So that was my first car gone, all right? So my brother, one day I came by to take me to look at some cars at Car-Mart. And we stopped at, I believe we stopped at Brahms or something like that. I don't know what, I'm thinking it was Brahms. I don't remember. I'm thinking it was Brahms. But, and I don't remember what the hell we got. And at this point in time, I was still eating animal's flesh. So, I don't remember what the hell I got out of Brahms. I don't know if I was just getting groceries or what. But, as I was coming back to the, as we was coming back to his vehicle, my brother's vehicle, there was a homeless guy, and it was a Gentile. Okay, this was a Gentile. He was old. He was an old guy, you know. But he, you know, we could clearly see he was homeless. And he was asking, for some change or for some money, to get some food. He said that he was hungry, and that and he asked if we could spare some money for food. Okay, my brother looked at him with a cold heart. I seen the way my brother treated him. My brother just like brushed him off like he was an annoyance. But me, on the other hand, and this was before I even knew who the Most High really was, I was still I didn't know any different from the God that was taught to me versus the Almighty Creator that I met in 2017. Okay, so this was back in like 2015, 2016, around in there. Around in there. I don't remember exactly. Around 2016, maybe 2017. I don't really remember exactly. But the point is, I pulled out my wallet without even thinking, and I don't know how much I gave the guy. I was planning on just giving him a couple of dollars, but I just ended up letting him take pretty much a lot of what was in my wallet. I don't know how much it was. I just opened up my wallet and just let it flow out to him. Okay, and the guy was almost moved to tears, and he hugged me and he said, "Thank you very much. Thank you. Was thanking me. And my brother witnessed it. He noticed it. And I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just telling you the difference of heart and my heart versus my brother's heart. Now, my brother was taught to be this way by this society. He didn't do it out of his own self. He did it because this is the mentality of a businessman, a modern day businessman. My brother he's adapted to this worldview in this society, and without thinking, he does these things, and he's acting identical to the Gentiles, the worst of the heathen that has destroyed the whole earth, and that lacks empathy, lack compassion, lack love, lack kindness, and all the fruits of the Spirit. But instead is very selfish and all the things that are opposite of the fruits of the Spirit. Okay, now I didn't tell you this to put my brother down. I'm telling you because he's a victim. He doesn't understand that he's a victim. He's been taught by the worst of the heathen, and he doesn't know it. But I have been awakened to bring these things out so that my family has a chance. If they ever gave ear to the things that are brought forth via the Spirit through this willing vessel, they would have a chance. They would have a choice, which right now they ain't got no choice because they're just leaning on the things that they have been taught to believe. Okay, and they have not heard any opposing viewpoints. They haven't heard any opposition. In their minds, the opposition is atheism. Okay, they believe that they know the true Almighty living power, and they refer to Him as God. Okay, they refer to the Almighty living power as God, and they truly believe in their hearts that they are serving Him. But they never question how they learned and who they learned it from about, quote unquote, God. Did they seek the Most High Almighty for themselves? Or did they hold the core belief in their minds of the God that was created for them, constructed for them, taught to them, and now this God that's constructed in their mind is who they are praying to, who they have put their trust and their faith in? But they don't understand that this particular entity that they have placed their trust and faith in, that they were taught about, is Satan, who said he would set himself up like the Most High. And they don't realize it. Okay, they're innocent in that. And so I'm here to break that deception and to give them a choice, because we're at the end. Anyway, shalom.